I am working on painting all these sketches. They are my Hippogryph from the Hogwarts Legacy video game. This one is a black Hippogryph though. The others I painted previously were all white, or meant to be white. There were some that turned out to look brown, but no, they were supposed to be white. I'll be painting all of them with gouache, and at the end I will stick them to my sketchbook. Do you like my nails? They are Hufflepuff nails. I got them at Miniso. They didn't have slithering, but it's okay because I love Hufflepuff too. Cedric Diggory and Newt Scamander. Like my previous Fantastic Beasts sketches, these are referenced from screenshots I took during my gameplay. I am using a lot of blue on the colors. Like many blackbirds, their feathers often reflect the colors around it to some extent. It's usually the blue sky. So that's why I am mixing in blue on the black. I said in my previous video that I was very close to finishing the sketchbook, but I greatly underestimated the amount of pages left. Now I am not close to finishing it. I would say I'm about halfway through. My idea was that since I had finished drawing and painting each fantastic beast of the game, that I could fill the remaining pages with more elaborate sketches of some of my favorite ones. But so far I feel like I've painted so many of them and there's still a lot of pages left. So at this moment, I'm not sure if I should change and try to fill it with something else, or if I should just continue to put more of these types of sketches. I just wanted to be linked to the mythological beasts from the game. In the castle, when you walk around, there are some tapisseries and some paintings of the creatures. So maybe I should paint those as well, and add them to my sketchbook. It could be good to have some change in there. The only thing I don't want to add are the centaurs, because they went with the movie depictions and they are so ugly. I don't want to paint an ugly thing. As shallow as that is, it's my sketchbook time and I want to paint things that bring me joy. If it was a commission, then sure, I'll draw as many ugly Harry Potter movie centaurs as you want. This time I continued my practice of gouache and ink as well. I really like the look and I think it helps a lot to define the creature. I used a dip pen for the finer lines. And to do the darker lines for the shadows, I used a brush. And here is the first sketch finished. Here's the second one, and you can tell that I had trouble with the camera focus again. I tried to show a bit of the blurry footage, only because it shows how I started the painting. I just did a basic color layout using the gouache with a lot of water. Also, since these are still the bad quality gouaches, even if I tried to add a lot of pigment, it would still look rather washed out. I still try to add some more definition with it though. I have several brands of low quality gouache that I'm mixing together. It's a bad idea in general to mix pigments from different brands, because they may use different materials in it. However, I'm just trying to use them all as fast as possible. So for a lot of these, it may look like the paint covers better than my previous sketches. There's just some pigments that are a bit better than others. I also added detail with inks for this one. I like to add the hatching to show the feathers texture. And I try to keep the hatching uniform, as in going in the same direction as the feathers. It just looks more polished like this. And for the very dark shadows, I added the ink with a brush. And we move on to the third sketch, another portrait of the hippogriff. I'm using a lot of purples and blues. Some of my reference screenshots were in the night and others in the winter. So these paintings are very cool colored in general. I tried to portray the values as much as I could with the paints. I think that the black gouache may have been one of the best of the lot I had, because in general it does tend to cover better than the rest of the paints. This one I left completely in gouache. I just felt like it portrayed the animal well and that I didn't need to add the inking details. Here's the fourth sketch. Again with the camera issues, which is a pity because this one I did try to paint with different colors. It was a night shot and he was lit by fire. I thought it would be a great way to practice the warm lights versus cool shadows theme. I still included some shots because you can still see the layout of the colors. For the warmth, I went with yellow for the bright part, and on the transition to dark, I added some orange. I also tried to experiment with color pencils for the details. At least you can see it better on the final shot. And at the end of the video, I did manage to fix the blurry camera issue. And this is the fifth sketch. I painted a full body version where he looks like he's rearing like a horse, but he's just ready to take off and fly. I went with the pale blue for the background since it's a winter day. I tried to cover as much as possible with the gouache. I think I wanted it to be a complete gouache sketch, but I couldn't get it to work just right. At the end, I ended up using inks for the detailing of the shapes. And for this one, I tried a real feather pen for the darkest parts. This feather pen can make really thick lines, so I used it for the shadows. I thought it would be a nice way to fill in the darks fast, and a different way than using a brush. Here's the finished sketch. I like how thick the lines on the wings are. I think it gives an interesting texture. And here are all the finished sketches together. And this is the sketchbook where I'm adding all of them. I have stuck them in with tape. These are nice, I really like the end result. Even this one that looks a bit demonic with the lighting. I do prefer the black hippogriff over the white one in general. It's just the way the light hits the feathers, it just makes it look much more elegant.